Welcome, everyone, to our Elevating Innovation series in partnership with Microsoft, where we explore what their ecosystem partners are creating, learning, and where they are going next at the intersection of culture and innovation for a tech-driven society. I'm Corey Hale, everyone, the CEO of Culture Banks, where we create business news for hip hop culture. And we're going to unpack the importance of elevating innovation through custom automation. Thank you so much for joining us today. And please know that you are the key to amplifying these Microsoft partners who are creating unique solutions and services for customers globally. Today, we're going to explore their journeys and learn more about how they are fueling their company's growth. But before we get there, to kick things off, I'm thrilled to welcome Regina Johnson, who leads partner community engagement at Microsoft. Regina works closely with CEOs of small and mid-sized tech companies, really visionaries who are driving transformation through the Microsoft Partner Program. She joins us today as part of our Elevating Innovation series, which is all about exploring how partnerships can power the next wave of tech innovation. Microsoft's commitment to fostering meaningful collaboration across this ecosystem is central to this conversation. So thank you so much for joining us again, Regina. And as we open today's discussion, can you just share with the audience how this series reflects Microsoft's broader vision for tech partnership and why community engagement plays such a vital role in this strategy?
Corey, I am so excited to be here with you today. You know what first came to mind is the power of community. There is a quote, many people say that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I think this is a focus in partnership, why we call entrepreneurs and companies partners, because it's a focus on the collaboration. You even called out collaboration. And so there's a shared commitment to attaining customers. These businesses that you're going to be highlighting today are focused on attaining customers. They're already building, they're already providing services for customers. And we want to partner with the best who are doing it. And so that's the main focus of any of this work. And I love stories. We love stories. Stories are powerful. We call it internally the voice of partner. So whenever there's an opportunity to highlight the stories of entrepreneurs who are really actually changing the world, there's always going to be something that we're focused on. And so that's the point of the series. And I'm excited that we are partnering with you to be able to share the stories of these phenomenal entrepreneurs that you're just going to be able to highlight in just a little bit.
Yes, just a little bit, because Microsoft, you guys do have a ton of partners, and the ones that we've been able to highlight in this series so far have been amazing. And I know that these three today are also going to be mind-blowing, because I'm going to get into just how great their companies are. So thank you so much, Regina.
Thank you for having me and for sharing these stories.
Yes, of course. Folks, let's jump right into our conscious conversation around elevating innovation with our excellent panelists today, including Sequoia Ramsey, President and CEO of Realistic Computing, which is a comprehensive information technology company offering services and solutions. She spearheads a dynamic team that trains, installs, manages, and tailors innovative solutions for medium to large corporations along with governmental bodies. Sequoia is a member of the local branches of the Women's Business Enterprise National Council, Enterprising Women Board member, and the National Association of Women Business Owners. In her spare time, she golfs and mentors youth interested in business and technology. I'm not sure how you even have spare time with all the other stuff you have going on there, Sequoia. But also joining us for this panel is Ameer Abdur-Razzaaq. He is the CEO of Simplicity IT, and he is also an accomplished technology leader with over 25 years of experience driving digital transformation and innovation across diverse industries. As CEO and solutions architect at Simplicity IT, Ameer guides organizations through complex technology transformations, optimizing operations, reducing costs, and driving growth. Prior to running his company, Ameer gained extensive experience working with the leading organizations across multiple industries, such as CIBC World Markets, Credit Suisse, Ernst & Young, amongst many others. Thanks for joining us, Ameer. And to round out our panelists, everyone, we have none other than Nyasha Duwani. See, I thought I was gonna mess it up, but I got it for you guys. He is the founder of Real Impact Technology Consulting, a data-focused systems integration firm with offices in Seattle and Sao Paulo. For over 2 decades, Real Impact has helped organizations across the Americas build foundational capabilities in data strategy, governance, analytics, intelligent automation, and AI needed to drive innovation. He has developed systems for companies including Virgin Vacations and Air France Holidays. He's an active mentor through organizations including Rotary and Women in Cloud, advocating for equitable access with inclusive leadership in global tech. Thank you all so much for being a part of this conversation, especially in our third installment of this Elevating Innovation series. And I want to get you guys right answering the top question on people's mind who want to understand how you built these great companies. So this first question is for all three of you because you all leaders, right, who are building automation first companies. And I would love for each of you to share the inspiration behind your own journey and how each of your organizations is uniquely positioned within the evolving landscape of business process automation. Sequoia, we'll go ahead and start with you.
Sure. My inspiration is making an impact on our clients' everyday productivity. As a trusted partner in their success, it's really important to us. And that's basically why I started the business right out of college. I gave it a shot at the opportunity to actually be in an early adopter of Microsoft technologies. And for us, that makes us really uniquely positioned because when we started in the traditional on-prem services. There were no cloud services as they are today. And so from that, it's allowed us to evolve and leverage automation through scalability, through the cloud, using technology and flexibility and efficiency. So we can therefore offer more robust and adaptable solutions to our clients and ensuring that they keep up with all the fast-paced technology advancements. The other part that we thought was invaluable was integrating expertise around converging technologies like audio-visual space, where technologies are now leaving where they used to be, and they're now joining kind of just a centralized cloud environment. So our solutions can now address a wide range of client needs, from infrastructure to user experience as well. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, I love that, especially the fact that you're this early adopter in the broader Microsoft ecosystem. I mean, that's fascinating. Not to mention also being a woman in tech and like forging ahead. We need more great people like you. Ameer, for you to share kind of the inspiration behind how you got into this space and your journey.
Okay, sure. At Simplicity IT, we partner with technology providers and community organizations to co-create inclusive platforms, built, you know, scalable frameworks and digital equity and resilience. So, like for example, we have strategic partnerships from the Microsoft community, and an example that we bring in our strategic partners is that we had a customer that required a security co-pilot, and we didn't have the in-house skills to deliver. So we formed a collaboration with another Microsoft partner, which we made the customer aware and to deliver the end solution to the customer. And by communicating that to the customer, it like really it showed like trust and transparency, and allowed us to get additional projects from this customer. So our primary focus is Azure Virtual Desktop, Intune, and security. And for the Microsoft verticals and technologies that we don't have experience, we are very open and very partner friendly to bring in other partners to deliver the end-to-end solution for customers.
Thank you so much for sharing, Ameer. We're going to throw it over to you now, Nyasha, because you have an even more fascinating story, which I didn't have time to get to in your bio. The fact that you started out in Africa, and even that computer that you said you started out learning on. I was like, what is that model? I'd never even heard of that before.
Yeah, so Nyasha Tunduwani, CEO, Real Impact Technology Consulting, born and raised in Harare, Zimbabwe, a small country just north of South Africa. Started programming at 13 on a Commodore 64. So my dad was wise enough to see that technology was the future. So in the 80s, I had my first exposure to technology. Came full circle when I moved to Seattle at 19. I was working at a restaurant where Amazon was upstairs. I think they had 7 people at the time. And so one of the engineers told me I needed to learn HTML, so that brought me into the space that I am in now. Um, what my journey has looked like from infrastructure through database, developing systems for people, working with end users has really given me a very well-rounded view of the impact of technology. So our purpose as a company is to help people and organizations maximize their impact through technology. And so as we get the convergence of data, automation, artificial intelligence, our company is really helping people build that data foundation first so that they can fully maximize the impact of AI. So what we're experiencing today is a convergence of the experiences I've had in my life, both from a technology perspective and also has allowed us to start doing business inside Brazil with some of our Brazilian partners. So that whole life journey has come full circle. And I have a passion project which is empowering other people to do what they can, and so that aligns really nicely with the technologies that are coming to the fore and the work that we're doing to expand access for other people.
Yeah, Nyasha, I can definitely tell from what you just explained to us how this convergence of like your own life story has really been parallel to your professional journey across the board. Thank you so much, all three of you guys, for sharing the inspiration for the companies that you've built in this space. Ameer, I'm going to bring it back to you though really quickly, because with industries rapidly evolving, the demand that we're seeing for customized, really intelligent IT solutions is growing exponentially. And your company, Simplicity IT, has been instrumental in delivering automation that enhances productivity, also streamlining operations. Which sectors, in your opinion, are you seeing the most opportunity in right now? And how do you then go about designing solutions that are scalable, secure, and really future ready?
Yeah, so for us, we see demand in like customized IT solutions spanning across healthcare, digital architecture, and financial services. As organizations modernize their systems, meet compliance requirements, or adapt to evolving expectations, most companies have legacy architecture that they need to lift and shift into the cloud. I mean, it's everything from you know taking your VMware Horizon service to do a migration into Azure VMware service. Um, so, you know, and then like modernizing their systems in-house where when it comes to their ticket system. So, for example, we had a customer who wanted to modernize their level one help desk to automatically resolve technology issues, I know, by prompting an AI chatbot with the problem, have it resolve the issue, and then log the ticket into the system. And we help the customer integrate that chatbot into their teams. So instead of picking up the phone to call a help desk, they just type the message in their teams to the help desk chatbot and tell them if they were like swapping a phone or the password reset. They just type in their name, password reset, you know, it asks them their credentials, maybe an MFA will come through, and then it resolves the issue, resets their password, and then log the ticket into the system. So we see that a lot of companies are taking advantage of AI to work more efficiently.
All right, I love that example you just gave because before this call earlier this morning, I was literally on the phone with a help desk for a company. And I was thinking, I'm pretty sure there's like a more effective way to be handling this situation with me, the customer, that does
Yes.
not involve me being on hold. I'm sure, as you guys know, for 20 minutes to like really not get anywhere
Yep.
fast. So it's good to know that your company, Ameer, is at Simplicity IT, you're already in that framework of helping companies figure out those solutions. All right, Nyasha, I'm going to bring it back over to you with real impact technology. It really struck me about how your company is focusing on not just the technology, but the people, right, that are running these institutions. And you really carved out a distinctive space by combining automation with that people first approach. And when I think about the global business process automation market, which is everyone projected to surpass more than $32.5 billion by 2031, how are you able to help clients accelerate automation outcomes through sort of this agile human-centered design and technology?
Yeah, so thank you. There's a couple of ways that we really look at it, right? So we talked earlier about how our objective is really to empower people and drive them to be able to do the best work they can as close to the problem as possible. So a lot of what we're doing is either doing assessments so we can map out processes, find high value processes that we can deliver automation around, and then helping the people within the organizations truly be empowered. So a lot of what we're doing is around mentoring and coaching outside of the technology itself, because what we find is that a lot of people are coming to us after they've started to use the technology or started to play with the technology. And now they're saying, how do we structure this so that we can make it the most effective? Or can you help us envision what this looks like if we deploy these technologies? So I think the early adopter phase of AI is on fire right now. But I think for everyone else to prevent from them falling into that trough of disappointment with the technology, we're helping to empower the end users, secure the back end data, and make it accessible so that the people closest to the impact can really be the ones that are empowered to take advantage of these solutions. And so that's how we're using the people, the processes they're running, finding value for the businesses and organizations, and then tying that into the automation and the other solutions that we're building out. So that's our approach in a nutshell. And we're engaged right now, both in the US, in Brazil, across small and medium enterprises, and also nonprofits, to remove some of the drudgery in people's day-to-day lives, where automation can accelerate what they're doing and move them into places where they can achieve the highest and most valuable use of their time.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing, Nyasha. And I love that you specifically pointed out that you're involved with for-profit and non-for-profit organizations, which Sequoia brings me to you because you're one of the few that I read through who's actually doing work with different governmental bodies along this kind of automation path. And both the prior panelists mentioned this like end-to-end automation. And when I think about Sequoia, what you're able to do from infrastructure to applications, even though it's a bit complex without the right strategy, can you just share how realistic computing is enabling organizations to unlock the full value, right, of their data while ensuring they're equipped with the digital infrastructure needed to thrive in this data-driven economy?
Yeah, I mean, I think Nyasha hit it right on the head about the people, people processes, and then technology. And one of the things that we add to that, that in our environments and infrastructure is a strategy to employ this with strategy around getting clients to use standard technology stacks, right? So that when they integrate and connect across different platforms, things will all work together and seamlessly work. And that's why we like to use the Microsoft platform, for example, because we use that stack to be able to ingest other industry standard products. For example, we do some work with different assessment management systems, logistic applications, and we're able to take Power Apps and be able to use those things and to actually converge and connect all these things together. So standardization has been one key component that's been lacking in a lot of our environments, especially government and then some of our nonprofits as well. And so we believe that employing like a standard set of framework, a standard stack, allows us to extend as we need to in different industry-based solutions, even if it's outside of that platform, we're able to do that. And again, with the Microsoft tools, we've been able to be successful at that from beginning when we first started. So.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And definitely in the nonprofit space and government entities, we see sometimes them being a little bit slower to adoption across the board when it comes to technology. So they need the skills that your companies are bringing to the table to help move them forward. All right, I'm going to wrap up this panel discussion with one final question that I'm going to throw to all of you. I know I've talked a little bit about the challenges, obviously figuring out the strategies across industries, which sectors can really benefit the most. But when you think about automation and how it's continuing to shape the foundation of a tech-forward society, how are you working with partners? Perhaps, I don't know if your companies even cross-collaborate or different alliances or ecosystem building to push systemic innovation forward in ways that foster digital equity, operational resilience, and really have long-term impact. Ameer, I'll go ahead and start with you.
So I think well, that it's all about strategic partnerships, right? And as I mentioned earlier, I talked to different partners from BPGI Group, from Kyle's group. I talked to Nyasha uh, when I was on vacation a couple like 2 months ago. And it's about forming those partnerships and those relationships with partners that basically don't do what you don't do what you do, and you guys can. So we basically can bounce projects and opportunities off of each other, and it's at the end of the day, it's about a partner community that you can build to say, I can work with this partner. I know who does what, and bring opportunities together. And I tell people it sounds funny sometimes, but I was like, look, I don't care whose hat I wear. Uh, at the end of the day, it's about delivering those solutions to your end customer. So, I may be, you know, I make work with Sequoia's company, right? And I'll wear her hat. You create an email on your domain for me. We're approaching customers as one unified front to deliver that solution, whatever it is.
Okay, perfect. Nyasha, we'll throw that same question over to you about really pushing systemic innovation forward.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of ways that we do that. So right now, if you were to pull, so Microsoft is our lead partner, right? So that's the platform we build everything on. Our particular focus and specialization is around Fabric for data, automation, and those types of solutions. But if you look at the number of areas that Microsoft leads and the Gartner Magic Quadrant, it's a massive number of solutions. We can't do it all. We need to be able to collaborate with other people to keep us ahead of the curve on what we need to be. So we collaborate with partners to help us deliver. We're also the go-to partner for I'm in trouble, please help in our category, which tends to happen more than we'd like. But yeah, that's where we get pulled in a lot. As far as innovation and looking forward, so I am co-founder of BCPA, which specifically is around building a community for partners that look like us, by partners that look like us. And so having that group of peers around me has really helped me grow significantly over the last few years. And that's a network where we'll pull people into different projects and engage in different projects. And we've collaborated with Microsoft as part of the journey with BPGI. So it's one of those things where we've gained a lot of strength and awareness by being active in the partner ecosystem and then being able to reach out. So Ameer mentioned we talked recently. I've talked to almost, I'd say hundreds of partners in the last 3 or 4 years that I had never met before because of this community that we put together.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's super amazing. All right, Sequoia, we'll round out this last question with your response and kind of your approach to really building up digital equity and operation resilience.
Well, just to tag off of that again, BCPA is a very good program, and I'm actually proud to be a part of that as well. And the team, as far as collaborating, getting us all together, is just fantastic. And one of the other things that we've noticed is that as mentioned, collaboration and partnering are kind of the cornerstone to all of our growth, right? And so, as many technologies are rapidly changing, so are the needs of clients. Several cases we've actually done something a little different and we align with organizations to expand their portfolios, right? And so their services they don't offer at all. And what they do is call on us for all of those services. Some of their technologies are sort of centuries old and things that we're no longer doing as much as printing, and we're doing more scanning, we're doing more other things that they didn't do. we're doing more managed services, and those type of companies reach out to us and we provide those for them. So we see that those types of things and those alignments and partnerships are actually helping us grow and getting us in spaces we would never be in, but they are already in with their older technologies. And so we're fostering opportunities for the next generation of tech.
Yes. All right. Perfect. Well, look, what you guys are doing is making a huge difference. To help really kind of bridge this tech divide that we're seeing at all different levels, no matter if you're a small size business, a nonprofit organization, obviously a government entity. This type of automation, this type of customization around digital solutions is desperately needed across the board. So thank you guys for the great companies that you've been running. I think all three of you for at least 2 decades plus. At this point, which is also a rarity in the broader entrepreneurship space for people to be doing this for decades and decades. So I love to see that. And that part actually concludes our regular panel discussion. And now I want to move into the part of the conversation where we really give our audience a chance to get to know you all better as people, not just entrepreneurs. And this is our rapid fire section. So the way this works, I'm just going to ask you all one question. We'll just go through it really quickly. You just kind of say the first 1 or 2 things that comes to your mind. Are you guys ready to do this?
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, Sequoia, we're going to start with you. What motivates you to keep going and why?
My clients. It's just when I can see that we're making an impact and we're making a difference, we're making their use that they can focus on what they do and we focus on what we do, technology. It just keeps me wanting to do more.
Okay, I love that. Ameer, you're up next. What are 3 skills people need to become successful entrepreneurs?
Oh, that's easy. Adaptability, effective communication, and financial acumen are the 3 pillars of entrepreneurial success. I'll say adaptability, it enables you to pivot when conditions change, like whether it's new technology, regulation, or a crisis like COVID-19, and then turn a disruption into an opportunity. Then there's effective communication, not regular communication, effective communication, because most people can communicate. But enables you to share your vision, build strong relationships, and motivate teams to achieve shared goals. And then I would say financial acumen. It ensures you budget wisely, forecasts accurately, manage your cash flow effectively, secure funding, allowing you to grow without any unnecessary risk.
Okay, Nyasha, you're up next. What time of day are you most productive?
Yeah, I'm going to non-answer this question, Corey. So when I was younger, I used to define productivity very differently, right? It's how much of the stuff that I can hammer through, right? So at that point, I was a night owl. So I'd be between 10 o'clock and 2 a.m. I'd just be firing through things, right? So that was my peak time. I had my thyroid out a few years ago, which allowed me to work 3 hours a day. So I switched that to the quality of the work matters significantly more than the volume, especially as I embrace my new CEO role. So the conditions that are required, so I have to be in nature and I have to be exercising. So those are the 2 times where I am doing peak thinking, especially as our industry changes. So my most productivity, the thing that's going to yield us the most impact over the next few years, is really in recovery time, which I used to deprioritize when I was younger, which is more critical today than it's ever been for me. So that's the non-answer to your question.
No, I actually think that that's one of the best answers that we've had in terms of productivity, because a lot of times people don't recognize the burn rate that's happening while even if you're not the person who created the company, you're one of the early employees, you're burning the midnight oil just as much as the founder and the CEO. And people do kind of put their life, their health on the back burner. And it is something that needs to be prioritized because it ultimately impacts the productivity that you're having as a person. So thank you so much for saying that. Sequoia, back to you. What is your favorite life hack?
This is crazy because my life hack revolves around almost the same thing. So mine is kind of an old staple. the early bird gets the worm. I start early. I must get things done in a certain amount of time. My quality of work is better early. So I feel like a hack is when, less people around. If I have to hit a retail place or do something I need to do, as long as it's open and I'm the first one, I get much more done. Also, the same thing goes for my work. So I feel like that's kind of one of the hacks that I've gotten used to, and it makes a difference actually for me. So
Okay, yeah, I'm all about actually getting any errands done when there are the least amount of people at any
exactly.
particular place. So
Mhm.
we're gonna bring it back over now to you, Ameer. What is the one app that you cannot live without?
Oh, it's not just one.
See, it's always a
I,
difficult question, especially for my technologists. Like just one. I'm like, just I know it's hard, but let's just
I can whittle it down to two. The first one I would say is Microsoft To Do. If it's not on my task list, then it's probably not going to get done.
okay.
Um, and I would say my Zero app. It allows me to do like to monitor my intermittent fasting. So those are the two things that I check on a daily basis to make sure that I'm on track or, trying to get my keto window in there.
Okay, your good keto window in there. I mean, you didn't stick to one, but those are two very good apps. Nyasha,
Yes.
we're gonna bring this one back to you now, and this might also be one that a lot of people they just can't stick to one answer on, but I'm gonna urge you to think of one. What is the one book that changed your life?
Um, so I'm gonna go with the last lecture, and specifically because of the time that it was introduced to me was at a time in my 30s where I thought I was invincible. But just the idea that life is finite, and that especially the thought for me as someone in business that setting up so that my family could benefit from the work that I'm doing long after I'm gone was something that really changed how I approach life in general.
So the last lecture is the book.
That's the last lecture.
Okay. I've actually never even heard of this book. So now I'm super curious and it's something I need to look into when we're
It's
done
also
here today. So our final rapid fire question, this is for all three of you because at Culture Banks, this is what we do best. We use music as a catalyst to help our audience make an authentic connection with high level business news. So the people must know what song is currently on repeat on your playlist. Sequoia, we're going to start with you.
Okay, one or two. I guess I got to stick with one, huh?
If you
Uh,
can't stick with one, you can have two on this one. We're
okay.
lenient with music.
So this is two, but this one, the most important is "No Weapon Formed Against Me Shall Prosper," which I really love from Fred Hammond. There's a lot of challenges out here, but you know what? We're resilient. We can get out here and do what we need to do. And the second one is no. All I want to do is win, 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 no matter what. So those are my two.
Yes, by J Rock, a classic.
Yes.
People love that song. All right, Ameer, what is the song on your playlist that you can't get enough of?
Uh-oh, it's two again. The first one is Superman by Black Coffee.
hmm.
Okay.
Uh, and the other one is an audiobook by Chris Voss. It's called Never Split the Difference: How to Negotiate Like Your Life Depended on It. It's taught by a CIA hostage negotiator that teaches you how to apply his techniques to business negotiation, sales, buying a house, negotiating my daughter's bedtime, things like that. But yeah, those are the two
I
things on my
love that
plate.
you need CIA tactics to help you negotiate the bedtime with your
Yes.
daughter. She must be a naturally very good negotiator that you need to lean
Oh,
into
yes, she
CIA
is.
tactics to get this done.
She is.
Yeah, I love that. All right, Nyasha, it's up to you to round us out with what song is currently on repeat on your playlist.
Yeah, I'll just go with one. So there's a song called This Year. It's by Victor Thompson, and it has been my favorite song to listen to. But the key line is everything that I'm blessed with is manifesting in my life, which I think is phenomenal. And so over the last year, it's been one of those songs where special things are happening to me. I'm able to play it and just really live in that feeling of gratitude and joy for the moment that I'm having at that time. So
All right, I love that. You guys are so uplifting. So positive. I feel like the more I speak with seasoned entrepreneurs, just their perspective on life, their perspective on entrepreneurship, their own individual journeys, it's always a bit more from like this enlightened place of gratitude and gratefulness and understanding that you're going to have those ebbs and flows, but you know, you're going to find your way, especially if this is what you're meant to do. So thank you so much for sharing all of your insights and all of your background information. Thank you for the work that you guys are doing across the board. And this concludes our Elevating Innovation talk for this month. As always, stay tuned to Culture Banks when we bring you more informative conversations just like this one. Have a good day.